Laura Evans is a household name at Shaklee and in our industry. She's a real powerhouse, and those of us who have been around her have one thing in common. We all love her. She has great business sense, but she's also a sweet individual and is super easy to listen to. And she's got a great story, and we will let her tell it. She is a master coordinator, as Don said, which is the pinnacle of the compensation that you can earn here at Shaklee. So she knows from whence she speaks, and we can't wait to hear her story. So with that, Laura Evans, take it away.
Thank you, Clint. Thank you, Clint, and thank you, Don. It's really an honor and a privilege to be able to join you guys on the call tonight, and thank you for taking time after a long work day to hang out with us and provide this service to everyone that's dialed in and listening in. I am going to share a little bit about my story. Well, in fact, I'm going to share a lot about my story because I hope that in my experience, someone can relate to this and see themselves or see someone that they know and they love and they care about. And you're going to find in tonight's talk that I'm going to spend more time on the beginning and on my story, and a lot of the things towards the end I'm going to go through probably faster than, especially if you're new, then you may be able to get the answers to. But that's the beauty about this. Someone cared enough about you to invite you to come to tonight's call, and I hope that at the end of this call you notice that and you thank them for caring about you, and then you can follow up with them and get the answer to your questions. They would love nothing more than for you to call them with a question about something that you heard tonight on the call. A few questions that I'm going to start off with that I'm going to answer for you tonight, one of which is, why would someone like me leave a corporate America career? I had a successful career over 25 years in sales and marketing for some major household brands. Why would I leave that career really at probably what others would consider the peak of my career to do something else on my own? What do I know about future trends in business and future trends in this company that really propelled me to have the courage to walk away from the security of a normal job and a successful career? And is it possible as a working parent to have balance with your family and with what you want to do professionally and what you want to do in the community? Just to tell you a little bit about who I am, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm successfully building a business that at present represents over $3 million in sales, and I'm building it on my own terms, and I'm building it while I'm helping other people along the way. I got involved in this business because I do truly believe that one person can make a difference. And I believe that we are here on earth to help each other. And it's important that we are looking for ways that we can help one another get what each other wants or needs in their life. We're dependent on each other. I guess the best way to describe it is, many of you can relate to this. You know how we were all encouraged to go to school, do well in school, go to college, get a college education, get a good job, and work hard and get married, and everything's going to fall into place. And that's what I did. I went to school, got good grades, was involved in a lot of leadership activities, a lot of different passions and hobbies. I went to college. I got a great job. I started working at, like I said, some companies that you would recognize, such as J.Crew. Spent a large amount of time at J.Crew when they were really nothing. So I was part of this team that was able to develop J.Crew into the brand that we're familiar with and I still love today. I was also involved with Disney. Because of my success at J.Crew, the Disney team saw that and asked me to come and help them, work with them on some projects that they had going on from a consumer marketing standpoint, and be really part of a dream team that they put together to turn around that division of the Disney consumer market. I was involved with Princess House. Princess House has been around forever as a household home decor, multi-level marketing, direct selling company. And I had an opportunity to really do a lot of things there, everything from operations management to sales management to actually having my own business for a short period of time at Princess House as well. And I had an opportunity to work more in the technology, telecommunications field. Responsible and really grew and further developed my management responsibilities, ultimately being president of Excel Telecommunications, a billion-dollar company in providing, telecom services, phone services, internet services, etc., to people through word-of-mouth marketing exclusively. And most importantly, I had an opportunity and have had an opportunity to partner with Shaklee. I was hired directly by Roger Barnett shortly after he bought Shaklee as part of his team, as he saw his vision of where Shaklee was going to go and what it was going to be. And I had the honor of working and reporting directly to Roger for more than 10 years in managing and overseeing North American sales and leading the team that helps provide those services behind the scenes to support us in the field to do what we do. But I struggled, and you may look at someone with that kind of resume and you may think, well, they don't need what we have to offer, or they've got money, they've got time with their family, they've got fulfillment, they are accomplished, they feel like, they're doing something, contributing, but you might be wrong. I did have a lot of those things. That is absolutely true. I did have a lot of those things. But with those things came sacrifices and came choices. And many times those choices put me in a position where my family came last. And many times those choices meant, even though I was a high-paid, salaried executive, as you would look on and see my resume and deduce that, if you looked at the hourly rate for the number of hours I put in between travel and emails late at night and everything else, maybe I wasn't making so much. I was really trading precious time, which there's only so much of, for dollars. And I was sacrificing time with my family. Like you, someone cared enough about me and my family to ask some questions and to share with us some information that became really my Shaklee story. And my Shaklee Effect story really began with, and if you see this picture that's up there, you see a little girl, you see a very big girl, and I'm going to talk about myself in a second, but you see a little girl in that photo, and that's my oldest daughter. That's my daughter, Savannah. And about, 10 or so years ago, someone cared enough to have a conversation with me about how my kids were doing, how was my family doing, and I found out from that person that they had a daughter who had asthma. And they found out that I had a daughter who had asthma. And in particular, Savannah was struggling with quality of life. She was in and out of the hospital for respiratory treatments, constantly living on an inhaler. The doctors really didn't have a lot of advice other than this is what your life's going to be, and this is what restrictions you're going to have on what you can do and sports you can play and activities you can do. So we just accepted that because we didn't know any better. And fortunately, someone cared enough to share with me, have you ever thought about changing your household cleaners? They had changed their household cleaners and done a couple of other small nutrition changes with their daughter, and it had made a world of difference. And I have to tell you, my initial reaction was, well, that sounds kind of silly. Why wouldn't someone have told me? Why wouldn't the doctors have told me about that? Why wouldn't I have heard about that before if that's what I should do? Clean is clean, right? Is there really a difference? But I figured, what do I have to lose? I mean, I've got a bleak report on what her future is going to be like, and these products sound like they're really amazing and they're cost effective. So what do I have to lose if it works? If it works, I only have the world to gain. So sure enough, it did work. Within just a few months, Savannah herself was going around the house and the neighborhood and the school singing the praises of Shaklee and how these products had changed her little life. And when you hear a 10-year-old talk about how much better their life is because mom changed cleaning products, or now I'm taking a couple of vitamins or whatever, you're just overwhelmed with the impact that something so small can have such a significant impact. And that was the moment when I made the decision of whatever role that God had for me with this company at Shaklee. I had met Roger, but I wasn't working for the company yet. But I made the decision, I'm going to fulfill whatever that role is. And whatever I can do to help one family experience that kind of a difference, then I want to be part of that. I want to be part of helping other little girls no longer use inhalers, helping other little boys be able to overcome illnesses and feel better and live better, and parents to live better. And what if it works? What if it works? And that began really my transformation as well. I started using the Shaklee products, and no one noticed, but I had a chronic history of sinus infections, and no longer did I have those problems because of the good nutrition I was giving my body. And then sure enough, I made a decision of, what if I could outlive my parents? What if I could live longer on this earth with my children and my grandchildren than I've seen my parents be able to do? And what if I could be running and playing in the schoolyard or on the parks or riding a bike with my parents? What if I could be 80 and feel like I'm 40? What would that be like? What if I had energy versus as soon as I get home, I'm just ready to go to bed and go to sleep? What would that be like? Is it possible that exists? And so I made a decision that one of the things that was obvious to me was I needed to get control of my weight. I've had a lifelong struggle with weight. I was always the chubby kid in school, and my parents, bought husky-sized jeans for me at Sears and Roebuck, for any of you that are old enough to remember that brand. And, I've always struggled with it. I have lost weight 1,000 times. I've probably lost 1,000 pounds 1,000 times. The problem is it always finds me and it always comes back. And that's until I met Shaklee. And when I started using the Shaklee 180 program, now the Life Shake program, I made a commitment. I made a decision that I was going to outlive my parents, and I was going to do everything I could in my control to do that. And I made a commitment to the program for 90 days. I knew that Shaklee had done a clinical study that showed people lost weight and they only lost fat, not muscle, during a 90-day time frame. And I understood from what I had learned about the program that that's the important piece, especially as we get older. And that's the reason that a lot of times we lose weight and gain it back is because we're losing muscle. So I learned all that stuff, and I said, you know what, I'm going to make a 90-day commitment to myself. And my goal was to just lose 10 pounds, because no matter where you are, if you're overweight, 10 pounds can make a huge difference. Just starting with 10 pounds. I figured I'm not that great at this weight loss thing, so I'm only going to make a small goal. So I made a goal of doing that, made a commitment to myself to stay on the program for 90 days. My first month was an adjustment. It was adjusting habits, changing habits, and in fact, wasn't a huge difference in the scale. I didn't lose a whole lot of weight my first month. But that wasn't a 1-month commitment. It was a 90-day commitment that I was going to, lose the pounds over 90 days. Well, sure enough, month 2 and month 3 roll around, and I was doing the same thing as I was doing in month 1, and I couldn't stop the fat from melting away from me. And many of you have stories like this, or you know someone that's like this because of the Shaklee 180 system and program. So I lost 23 pounds in my first 90 days, and then I went on to lose another 17 pounds in my second 90 days, losing more than 40 pounds during that time frame, and more importantly, going from a size 10, which was a healthy, normal, average American girl size, to a size 2, which for this girl, I hadn't seen a size 2 in my closet since I was probably 2 years old as a toddler. So I was so excited. And that's when I began thinking, what if I could change my life? What if I could design my life and have work fit in when I wanted it to, rather than having to build my life around my work schedule? You know, what if I could work around the life that I design and I want instead of having to design my life to fit what my work schedule was and never being able to say yes to my family until I checked my work schedule? And I started thinking, what if I could take advantage of some tax deductions as a business owner? As, you know, two working family members, we were getting killed on taxes. And the idea of being able to have a small business and take advantage of the incentives and the tax deductions to support the growth of that small business was really attractive to us. What if I could have the time to not miss out on things with my family? So you can see my first day that I made the decision, well, I made the decision long before the photo of where I am signing on my distributor application. But behind the scenes, I was looking for when would be the right time and place to make the transition to go to the Shaklee sales field and have a business of my own. So that day, when I'm there with the Shaklee Home Office field support team, who are rock stars in supporting us and keep us in business for ourselves but not by ourselves, I signed my distributor application January 17th of 2014 and walked away from everything I'd ever known and everything I'd ever been taught about what I was supposed to do. Now, I want you to remember, many times in my life, I was a single mom and the sole money earner of the family. So was it scary for me to walk away from a steady paycheck and insurance benefits and things that I had come to know as reliable into the vast unknown of what's my check going to be like? Am I going to get a check? Am I going to be able to attract anybody to what I'm doing? Do I really even know what I'm doing? I mean, all those voices in my head, I felt all of that, just like you may feel all of that. But I learned that, you know, there's an old saying that's been around, and I have it on a notebook that's an inspiration to me. If your dreams don't scare you, then they're not big enough. If your dreams don't scare you, then they're not big enough. And every once in a while, it's good to shake things up and be a little bit outside of what's comfortable. You know, I've also learned that, you know, for great reward, you have to take a great risk. And this was a great risk for me and my family, but the rewards have been immeasurable. Since then, and if you look at the slide, it's got all these different photos, a collage of kind of what we've represented in Shaklee. You know, since then, we've doubled our business. Interestingly enough, our net income is equivalent to what it was when I was earning a full-time salary. And that's because of, like I mentioned earlier, some of the tax benefits, et cetera. Someone once told me, you know, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep in terms of what you earn. And boy, is that true. That really is important. We've helped dozens of people live a better, healthier life. Everything from some of the how we've helped children be healthier, to people that we've helped lose weight and feel more energy and just be a better mom, be a better grandfather, be a better person in the community. We've had a chance to play a role in that on an individual level with just thousands of families. I've got an incredible team that supports me, and as I was putting together a bunch of photos, you know, it's emotional to look at all the people that we love so much that we get to do business with. I get to work with who I want to work with, and many times those are family and friends, and sometimes they're not. But that's okay. The ones that want to work with me and that I want to work with, we develop just a stronger bond and relationship of support to one another that's really immeasurable and rewarding in an incredible way. And on that side of some of the immeasurable impacts, I had the opportunity for the first time as a mom of 20 years. I've been a mom for a long, long time, and I've missed a lot of birthdays. I've missed a lot of special occasions. I've been coming home when the kids are in bed and leaving before the kids wake up in the morning. I know what that life is like. I lived that life. I thought that's what I had to do to make ends meet and to be able to provide for the family. But for the first time ever, 20 years of being a mom, I was the mom that got to go on the field trip with my son. And boy, was he excited. I don't know who was more excited, him or me. I mean, you could tell he was excited because he saved a seat for me. And you could tell I was excited because I couldn't stop smiling. I was so happy. And, of course, I had a chance to meet other moms at school and the parents at school. And these were things I just never had time for. And that's my story as a career person who chose career and providing for the family versus being able to stay at home with my children. And I was paying other people to take care of my children. And also importantly, you know, we're in that generation where we're raising children, but we're also affected by our parents' health declining, and we're losing parents and taking care of parents as well. But I had the opportunity in the last 2 years to spend more time with my mom in her last 2 years on earth than I had 20 years before then, because we had moved away for my career and we weren't living close to home anymore. And as my career was growing, her health was declining. And it's just so rewarding for me to know that we had those special times together on the last 2 years that she had here with us. So you look at me and you see somebody that was, you know, really successful from a career standpoint, had a family, was managing it all, and everything was in balance. What you didn't see is, although I may have had money in the bank, I was approaching bankruptcy from an emotional level, almost from a spiritual level, and from a social level. Those were areas of our life that we need to nurture us that were getting neglected, that were not getting any time from me. All of my time was going into my career and to my work. And maybe you can relate to this. And that's why I want to just walk through a little bit of what made the difference for me. You know, for example, I hope you ask yourself as you hear my story, are you where you want to be in life? Do you feel you've got balance between your family? Maybe you do. Maybe you know someone that doesn't. Maybe you don't. How about your health or your fitness level? Are you neglecting that, and are you going to pay for that later? Would you like to outlive your parents or maybe be longer in life without having to go on prescriptions so that you have a better quality of life? Do you enjoy the lifestyle? Are you able to travel? Are you able to experience things that you want to experience even from a community standpoint because of flexibility and freedom in your life? You know, what if? Those are the questions I ask myself. What if this works? What if I really can strike this balance? What if I can be healthier than my parents were? What if I have more time for my children? What if I do build a $1 million a year business that I'm able to help other people but also earn an income from? What could that mean for us? And the Shaklee effect for me really goes into, as a professional in this industry and familiar with many of the other choices that we have of companies that we can partner with to have our own business. I have, I guess, high priorities is the best. High standards is the way to describe it. Very high standards. I have a checklist of what I'm looking for. If I'm going to put my name and my brand and my reputation on something, then it's going to meet my checklist of qualities and standards. And these next few slides really go through what some of those are. For example, I love it that we're a company that welcomes customers and business builders and distributors and meets them where they are. You know, be wary of a company that doesn't want you as a customer and only wants you as a distributor. Something's going on there that's not the kind of company I want to be with. I love it that we're a company that says, hey, whatever you want to do, you can use our products. Of course, you know, we got this amazing guarantee behind our products. You could share our products, or you can build a business. And you know what? You can change any one of those at any time. 1 month you may be using the product. The next month you may be sharing. The next month you may be building. And that's okay with the company. The company's not, their agenda isn't forced on you. You get to choose where you see yourself in this company. And I like that. I wanted a company that treated people the way that I wanted to be treated. And then, of course, the trends. You know, I'm a Texas girl. I lived in Texas for a long time, and I'm a huge fan of Mark Cuban and the Dallas Mavericks and what he's done there with that team. And I love watching him on Shark Tank. And he often uses the phrase of FOMO. Sometimes an investment is about FOMO. And what does FOMO stand for? Fear of missing out. Fear of missing out. I don't know if you can relate to that or not, but I started having that fear. You know, I started thinking and I started seeing all of these major trends in the world today, the trends around healthy living. I mean, everybody's talking about living healthy and drink this shake or take this vitamin. People are just more aware. 50% of Americans are taking vitamins today. People are more aware, more accepting of the kind of lifestyle that we've been promoting for 60 years. You know, Dr. Shaklee was green when it was just a color, and now more and more people are beginning to gravitate towards that's where it's at. That's the right thing. We are supposed to be living in harmony with nature. Everything from the, you know, healthy weight, losing weight, and what a difference, you know, science is finally beginning to catch up that what we eat matters and how much we weigh matters, and it has long-term effects on our health. You know, everything's catching up with it. So being part of all of those trends, including having a home-based business trend, I just began to have a real fear of missing out. I wanted to own my own business and get my own market share without a huge capital expense in the sweet spot of all of those converging growth markets. And one of the most important things when you're looking at your checklist of what kind of company would you want to partner with, built on trust. I mean, what more can you say? The longevity of Shaklee and the legacy of trust that we have is outstanding and above all others. Dr. Shaklee's commitment to quality and his vision of the power of nature and living in harmony with nature and how to harness that and bring it to people to help them feel better, and his vision of referral marketing way before his time, and then this company with the 60 years reputation of never missing a check, a generation after generation after generation that's been able to earn incomes off of what was done by their great-great-great-grandparents in sharing these products and helping others. Roger's vision of the future. What an incredible legacy that we have in Dr. Shaklee and future visionary that we have in Roger Barnett. Those are key elements for me in a checklist of what kind of company do I want to partner with, put my energy in, and put my trust in. Because when I build something, I'm putting my reputation on the line, and I want to make sure it's around when I turn around 10, 15 years from now. You know, I'm not tempted at all by every new company that pops up every day. I'm not tempted by that because I know 95% of them are going to be gone next year. And I don't want to be one of those statistics. I want to be with a company that's stable and steady and consistent, yet innovative and caring about other people. And that's the stability of Shaklee, like you see the beautiful home office there. And the quality of products, the Shaklee difference. That's so important. If you're going to put your name on a product, use the product. Know how they work. Have your own story like we did in our family that no one could ever convince me to use something else other than Shaklee. If Shaklee makes it, I take it. I'm not a scientist, but I live and breathe the Shaklee difference because I can tell the difference between what I'm putting in my body from Shaklee versus what somebody buys at Costco or some other, you know, department store brand. I heard a story, an analogy one time that, you know, our bodies are like high-performance vehicles. You know how some, especially guys, can relate to this. You've got that dream car that you want and you love that car. Well, are you going to go and put the cheapest oil and the cheapest gasoline and the cheapest tires on that car? Or are you going to put the best because you want it to wear and tear well? Well, our bodies are like high-performance vehicles. And most importantly, replacement parts are really hard to come by. So I don't want to take a chance of putting something that's sub-quality or inferior quality in my body or in the body of my family, and I don't want to represent that to somebody else. So I applaud the science team at Shaklee for the care that they take on the Shaklee difference. The major brands of products that we offer, everything from targeted health solutions to overall just basic nutrition wellness, which I find so many people are just deficit of at just a starting point, to healthy home products, to the beauty products, and of course, you know, the opportunity to be able to lose weight and improve your health that way if that's what you need to do as well. And you can get in on what your health is worth to you for as little as $7 a day, $5, or $2 a day. I mean, who doesn't have that? I mean, who doesn't spend like $7 or $5 a day on a cup of coffee, or a paper, or an iTunes bill, or downloading an app, or whatever? We have that money laying around. It's just, do we really find value for it? And do we believe that something like this can make a difference? And I do. And I'm a living, walking example of it. And I've got thousands of people on my team, and there's millions of people on Shaklee that do. So we're looking for the ones that believe and want to try that. And of course, like you saw, we've got the incredible life plan program with the most comprehensive nutrition system in the world, something that we get to claim, that nobody else gets to claim, just like we're America's #1 natural nutrition company. And I want to partner with a winner, and I think you want to partner with a winner as well. We've got proven by science what we say is true, the landmark study, the healthresource.shaklee.com website, all of these resources, the journals that we've been published in that prove using Shaklee products makes a difference. So it's not just what we're saying, we've backed it up with proof. And companies in general, there's no other company out there that has that kind of documented proof. And one of my favorite studies is the telomere study. Just like I mentioned earlier, what if we could be 80 years old and living like we're 40? I mean, do you want to do that? I'm really interested in doing that. I've had the good fortune of experience aging in reverse in my experience with Shaklee. These products are so amazing. There's no question that in my late 40s, I feel better than I did in my late 20s. No question about it. So I'm looking forward to being able to be active with my grandkids and when I'm 80, be running around and living like I'm 40. And I've met so many tons of people in Shaklee that are like that. We're like the fountain of youth for that. And that's where we're proven. We're proven by people. You know, people ask me a question about safety, or these products safe. It always cracks me up at how people will put anything in their mouth to eat, chips out of the vending machine, or burgers made from fast food restaurants, and they've got no clue in the world what kind of preservatives or carcinogenic, cancer-causing ingredients are in it, but they're just blindly, well, it was advertised, so I guess it's good for me and I can eat it. But then when it comes to vitamins, they're like, well, is it safe? Is it safe to take these vitamins? It always cracks me up. But one good way to answer that is look at the Olympic athletes. There's a story today about another Olympic athlete that failed a drug test because not aware of some kind of supplement that they were using. Our Olympic athletes choose to use our products. They're not paid as endorsements for our products. They choose to use our products because they know that it's safe, and they're not going to risk their Olympic career on it. So if it's safe enough for an Olympic athlete, it's safe enough for me. And I trust it 100%. And, of course, everyday people use it. And 100% guaranteed. I mean, look for, in your checklist of what you're looking for as a company that you would want to partner with, look for a company that stands behind the products that they offer unconditionally, 100% guaranteed, anytime, any reason. That's powerful. A lot of companies throw out, oh, yeah, we've got money-back guarantee, but in the fine print, you've got to have it turned in within 2 weeks, and you've got to have the original receipt, and you've got to have something circled, and you've got to have all these little gotchas. We're not like that. We're not like that because we don't need to be. We've been offering that guarantee ever since we started, and we know that our products work and make a difference in people's lives. And I like being able to represent that kind of a brand. I feel comfortable and confident when I'm talking with people that I know, care, and love in representing a brand that has that. And of course, you can see, again, back to the Shaklee difference, is the company that's what's on your checklist in terms of, is the company thorough with their testing process? A lot of people throw around the words organic and natural, but do they go beyond organic and natural, testing for contaminants and pesticides and all of the kinds of things that can compromise the efficacy of a product? And that takes us to go through that checklist, and you find those things to be true with a company like I found to be true with Shaklee, and why I chose Shaklee as the company I wanted to partner with in building my own business in this segment. It goes back to designing that life. You know, do you really want to live the rest of your life figuring out how you live your life around your work schedule, or would you like to be able to work around the life that you design? And that was the choice that I made. It was worth the risk to me to be able to boldly go in that direction. Shaklee offers a ton of rewards at every level, and I love that about Shaklee. I love that we're the myth busters in terms of a lot of companies and a lot of people think, well, in order to be successful in one of those companies, you have to be the very first to come in. Well, I have news for you. We've been doing this for 60 years, and there are people that have come in now that are out-earning people that sponsored them in. And that's when you know that you've got a good compensation plan and a good solid company, is when there's an equal opportunity for performance based on how much you want to put into it and what you're going to get out of it, and the rewards are evenly distributed. Of course, those that do more and are able to generate more, there is more rewards, but that's not taken away from a person that's able to do a little bit in getting started. The rewards as a distributor, you can see what we offer there. The rewards as a director, we began offering, and I like to encourage people to think, what would an extra $1,000 a month look like for you? Let's just start with a round number. If you were able to add $1,000 a month to your family household budget by doing a little bit of less than part-time effort, that's not a full-time effort, that's a less than part-time effort, would that make a difference for you? And of course it would. That could mean sending your children to private school. That could mean paying off debt so that you get out from under some of the interest. That could mean a family vacation that you've been putting off forever. That could mean traveling to visit your parents and your grandparents a little bit more frequently, having the disposable income to do that. That could be a game changer, making $1,000 more a month and adding that to your income with less than part-time effort. The rewards at coordinator. Shaklee is one of the only companies that begins offering that car program at this level. A lot of companies may say, oh, we got a car program, but you got to be like a super, super, super rock star to get the car program. And Shaklee says, we want everyday people to have an opportunity to advertise what we offer by having their own car paid for of their choice by Shaklee. So Shaklee offers those rewards, the travel rewards, the car bonus rewards at the lowest levels compared to what some other companies offer. And then, of course, as you advance in leadership and building your own team and developing others and helping others achieve their goals, the rewards go on and on. And, for example, the master coordinator, as you see there, we have an opportunity to travel. We are earning, obviously, a full-time income, a six-figure income, and especially for someone that's a career-minded person or in a successful career, being able to show them or say to them, if you could make a six-figure income and do it in your own terms legally, is that something that you'd be interested in doing? The six-figure income is what the college graduates are looking for. It's not what they're getting. And especially if they average out the number of hours that they spend in pursuit of it, that's not what they're getting. But we have that opportunity, and we've proven that success. We have thousands of people that have been able to earn that kind of lifestyle and income for many, many years, not just 1 year, not just, hey, I came in, did that for 5 years. We've got people that for 50 years have earned a six-figure income with Shaklee. That's powerful. I want my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren to be thankful that great-great-great-grandma Laura thought that this was a good idea to get involved in this industry and struck at the right time. And that's what I see for the future there. And, of course, you see a chart of the different rewards at the different levels and where you might see yourself and where you fit in. And, again, I encourage you, if you've got questions about any of this that we've gone through quickly, go back to the person that cared enough about you, because they do care about you, to take the time to ask you, listen to one more call. Dial into this on your drive home. Check this out on the website tonight. They care about you and asking you to take that time. Go back to them and ask them your questions of, well, what does that mean? And when she said this, what does that mean? What does that chart mean about that? And can you show me this again? There's nothing we would like more than to help you design a life that works for you. to find the kind of balance that I've been able to find and so many others have been able to find. And we want to help you see how you fit in. And as I mentioned earlier, how you fit in, it's not our agenda. Shaklee Corporate doesn't have an agenda of forcing you to fit into one way or the other. We, the people that care about you and invited you to this call, we don't have an agenda. Our only interest is, where do you see yourself? And is there a way that you could, what if you could be living a better life today and tomorrow than you are and you have been in the past? You know, what if you could be healthier? What if you could be more active? What if you could have more energy? Is that possible? Is that possible? What if you could have more time freedom to spend time with the people that you love and the people who love you and are dying to spend more time with you and want to see you? What if that's possible? And with that, there's several different ways that you can join, and the person that invited you to this call can explain all of that to you. And with that, I'll just ask you one last question. What will your Shaklee affect? What will your story be? And I look forward to celebrating your success with you. So Clint and Don, thank you for inviting me to the call tonight.
Thank you, Laura. What a great time we had listening to you. Your story was fantastic. I think there are so many people who can relate to that grind that you did for so many years and provided so well for your family for all that time, only to realize that you didn't really own your life. What a courageous step you took. Thank you for that inspiration.
You are welcome. It's tempting, Clint, huh?
Yeah, you're tempting me big time. I mean, you're dangling that thing out there. I see what you did right there, and I like it. So for all of you listening, thank you for joining us. We do a call just like this, not always with Laura Evans, but always with somebody dynamic and interesting every Monday at this time, same bat time, same bat channel. So you can tune in. If you are a guest of the company, this is the format we use. We tell our stories, we show you some slides, and we let you partake in a little bit of Shaklee. For those of you who are members of the Shaklee family, you know the drill. This is when we do it, and we're really grateful to have your participation. And Laura, we, I believe, have broken another attendance record tonight. So you're it's kind of, you know, it's having a celebrity always helps. So we appreciate that very much, and I'm sure everybody who brought their guests do as well. So from all of us here at the home office in Pleasanton, California, thank you for joining us. Thank you again, Laura, and everybody have a great Shaklee evening. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.